When life is difficult, adopt a greater perspective. The greatest perspective is a cosmic perspective. From that viewpoint, our problems here on Earth seem quite insignificant and easy to overcome. When you find yourself stuck in life, stop, get present, relax, and widen out. Hello, hello. Let me get set up here. Running a little bit behind. I apologize. Can you hear me? Oh no. What's going on? Hello? 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 Oh my goodness. I do apologize about that. My headphones weren't plugged in, so you probably heard me saying hello, hello. Let's get started. Law of attraction. I'm sure you've heard of it. It's been talked about ad nauseum. Well, I'm here to dispel and clarify what the law of attraction is and exactly how it is pertinent to your own life. Why even bother understanding this thing that has been so misunderstood, misinterpreted all over the place? We're going to clear it up here today. Sound like a plan? You need to focus to accomplish tasks and goals, right? But everywhere you turn, follow along, there's another darn distraction tugging at your attention. Is this familiar? I know it is for me. The last thing I wanted to see show up in my reality was excuse me. The last thing I wanted to show up in my reality was another war in the Middle East. Another big pull on my attention, right? You want to go this way, but the world wants you to go that way. Or you want to go this way and your family wants you to go that way. Or you want to go this way and your community wants you to go that way. There's always something pulling on our attention, pulling us off course. I could expand on this, but I'm going to keep it to just a real simple statement. What we're talking about here is sin. Believe it or not. When you sin, you miss the mark. You're off track. And I don't care. You can go research and find that, oh, no, that doesn't mean off the mark in archery. But when I feel into it, it makes the most sense to me. If you have another definition for sin that makes better sense, aligned with the fundamentals of being human, then I want to hear about it. But for me, it makes total sense. Sinning means you're off the mark. So you got distracted. And what happens when you sin? You repent. Pentare means to think. So if I repent, I'm going to rethink what it was that was got me off track. What was it that distracted me? I'm going to rethink. I'm going to be penitent. I can't say that word. It's in Indiana Jones, penitent man, the penitent man, the penitent man. A penitent man, right, is a man that thinks, or woman. They're very sovereign, a complete opposite of organized religion today that claims to have some sort of trademark or, I don't know, copyright on the Almighty, the unlimited source, spirit, God. Allah, Brahman, whatever you want to call it, doesn't matter. It's an experience. Have you had an experience of your higher self, your true self, where you come from? That's what we're talking about. It's the conclusion I've come up with. What conclusion have you come up with? Where do you come from? Where do I come from? Where do we all come from? Is there even enough free time in our busy survive and chase more desires than we need? Is there even any time to ponder these questions? Like, what is the meaning of life? Oh my God, I don't have time to answer that question. Where do I come from? I'd love to hear from you. Drop it down below. Share with me. Your viewpoint is as valid as mine. We're all in the dark here. We're all throwing out our best guesses. What becomes reality, what becomes fact, is whatever best guess the most people agree with. That's the only way you have a universal truth in a relative universe like Earth, like we have here in this physical material world. It's relative. Everything is because of everything else. So let me get this off of here. You need to focus to accomplish your tasks and goals. But everywhere you turn, there's another darn distraction tugging at your attention. Sound familiar? I'd love to hear from you if you can relate to this pull on your attention by the outside world, by the people you love, by your own body. I need to go to the bathroom. I need to get a sip of water. I need to eat, right? These are challenges that in meditation they pride themselves on being able to overcome these distractions as fundamental as our bodily sensations. Like when you can arrive at that space of self-awareness, there's actual, in Hindu mythology, or I don't know, it's in the autobiography of a yogi by Paramahansa Yogananda. There's people called breatharians, supposedly, that only feed on the life force of God alone. They feed on air, supposedly. They don't go through the gross bodily functions that we do to nourish our bodies. That's all it is. You're sustaining a system, right? It's a very beautiful thing when you explore it objectively. All right. So if you can relate to that, being pulled off track by the outside world, that's exactly where we're going right now. So let's dive in. Stick around as we unpack the fundamentals of the law of attraction and finally make sense of this ever-present concept that's out there, that's been around for 20, 30, 40, it's the 80s, I think, that Esther Hicks, Abraham and Esther Hicks, right, created the law of attraction. But there is a lot of truth underneath it. It's been watered down through misunderstanding and misinterpretation, but we will unpack it, at least the fundamentals of it and how it applies personally to your life. That's the whole point. Why bother if it doesn't apply to you personally? If it doesn't personally benefit your life, your well-being, why bother? I certainly don't bother to come on here and spend all this time trying to get ready, all only to be late. I'm here on purpose to empower you, to awaken you to realize there is a greater world beyond the current one we have right now and the chaos in it that is distracting us and pulling us away from doing things we want to do in life, right? It's like, I want to go here and life is pulling you in a different direction. That's what we're going to unpack. So let's do it. Please show your support, right? Just real quickly, please show your support by following, liking, and sharing. We're talking about it. We're going to be talking about attention here because that's really what is at the core of the law of attraction is attention. And I'm asking you right now that if you're gaining any value from this video, please share your attention with me in the form of uh, reactions, comments, sharing. I really, really appreciate it because that helps me be recognized by that wicked Facebook algorithm so that more people can see this video. We can awaken more people. More people can take more personal responsibility for their well being and their ideal life. And when enough of us do that, we will be living in an ideal world. But it has to happen on an individual basis until that we hit critical mass. So the most important thing you can do right now is not meddle in the outside world like you see a lot of people doing. Meddle in the inside world, get this thing sorted out, being a model for others and leading the way, and also rippling out influence. Influence is who you're being is rippling out into the world. When you're having a bad day, if you'll notice, everyone else is kind of having a bad day. That's a reflection of you. If you're having a really good day, like you're in love, then what happens? You look around, everyone's in love, having a really great day. No, it's a reflection of you. It's profound on that level. So please help me, help you, help humanity. That's called a triple win. I'm always focused on creating an outcome where everyone gains. Not equally necessarily, not in the form of equity, but there certainly is a payoff for everybody involved. Nobody walks away a loser in my reality. Who's on board with me in creating that kind of a world where there are no losers and we're all winners according to our own prescribed position in our life? We're a winner in our own life. That's the most important thing. Now that I asked you for a lot, let me share with you what it is I'm willing to give in return. As a thank you for those who attend this live or the replay, I'm giving away a taste of a present moment perspective. This is a $350 value. All you have to do is leave a hashtag found fun down below. I'll reach out with details on how you can redeem that for yourself. Now, understand what I'm giving away here is the foundation of the Found Fun Discovery Method. This is where it all starts, here and personal responsibility. Those two primary fundamentals are at the core of my work and the core of you realizing your fullest potential in life. What am I saying? What I'm giving away is a firsthand experience of a present moment perspective. And the thing to realize is there simply is no better place to live and operate from than a present moment perspective. In this case, we're talking about deepening your self-awareness because we're about to dive into and look at how it is you attract what is showing up in your life. All of it. The stuff you want and the stuff you don't want. Sound exciting? That's where we're headed. And that requires, it doesn't require, but it is beneficial for you to have a little bit of self-awareness to be able to get the most out of exploring your own consciousness. This is something I recommend everybody work on and cultivate and develop on a regular basis. If you are doing any sort of meditating, 5 minutes a day, you are deepening your self-awareness. There's more than one way to skin a cat. There's more than one way to deepen your self-awareness. I happen to believe that my approach is the quickest and most effective and most appropriate for our modern Western lifestyle. It's not antiquated like a lot of Eastern approaches that Westerners attempt to apply in their life and get limited results from. This is tailored for our busy lives here in the West. It's tailored for people that have big egos. They're ambitious about making something out of themselves and their life. It's tailored to Western desires and connecting to your desire nature, right? That's how I came to create this, to empower expert entrepreneurs and experts and to empower die-hard experts and entrepreneurs like you, my friend. Now, if you happen to be super, super ambitious, I love that, and therefore I reward it. Fast action bonus. If you want to gain something right now for just showing up, then share this live with at least one friend right now, and then message me done. As soon as I see it, I'll send you a personal message ASAP. It'll be my calendar link so that you can schedule that complimentary taste of a present moment perspective on me, my treat. And this is the quickest way to get it. If you just put a hashtag found fun down below, I'm going to reach out to you with a couple of instructions on how to redeem that. It's only fair. So who am I? Let's get into it. Who is this guy and what qualifies him to tell me anything about being a human or the fundamentals of being human? Well, for starters, I am the childhood survivor of a triple homicide. Yes, at 13, I lost my mother, my father, and my grandmother. That rocked my world. I don't know about you and what kind of traumas you've gone through, but listen, I'm not going to sit here and compare traumas. We have all been through traumatic things in our lives. Mine just happened hard and fast at a young age, and that just popped me. It shattered my consciousness. I mean, if you can only imagine, this is what happens to soldiers. This is what PTSD is. I apparently have PTSD. I have that label. But the point being is that shattered my consciousness and it set me on a path to realize our true self. Like, what's the point? This has to have some rhyme or reason in it. It can't just be random chaos. And if it is, put me out of my misery right now. But no, I believe there's some order in the universe, and it's yet to be fully understood and discovered by humanity. Our science is cutting edge, but it's barely scratching the surface of what's beyond this material world. What am I getting at here? That shattered my consciousness and it set me on a path to answer the big questions in life. And through that process, I developed the Found Fun Discovery method so that I could serve the greater good by supporting diehard experts and entrepreneurs who themselves are serving the greater good or desire to, in essence, multiplying my abilities by targeting those working with others. If I empower that individual, it's going to pay it forward and trickle down to their clients. And it's going to be an exponential process, and I'll be able to have a greater impact in my life. A lot of people are using automation or AI today to make a greater, wider, yet less potent impact in the world. I'm doing it this way. So I want to hear from you down below if you're a diehard expert and entrepreneur serving the greater good or desire to be one. In my picture. Remember, all I'm offering is the truth. Nothing more. Take it or leave it. It's your prerogative. What you won't hear here that you'll hear everywhere else is that you don't know what's best for you. I know what's best for you. You don't know what you need. I know what you need. These are fallacies. Don't buy the bullshit. Listen to me when I tell you, you know what you want, you know what you need. You have the solution. You also happen, here's the double-edged sword that most people don't want to own. Let me get rid of Morpheus here. Here's the double-edged sword that most people don't want to own. If you are the solution to your problem, you're also the source of that problem. You have to own both sides of the relativity, of the duality of life. The protagonist and the antagonist. You play both roles. Without getting crazy on the point here, when Jesus talked about being the Son of Man and the Son of God, that's what we're talking about here. It's the duality of existence here on this terrestrial material plane where relativity reigns. All right, where are we going from here? Morpheus, right? Are you an anomaly in the matrix? Because if you're an anomaly in the matrix, then I'm your Morpheus here to wake you up to your true power. That is my purpose. That is my passion. Now I want to hear from you. Where are you watching from? Let me hear from you down below. This is going out to all the world, so let yourself be known and share with me. Where are you watching from? And more importantly, what's your passion? It's clear my passion is a present moment perspective, empowering individuals. I want to hear about you and what your passion is. Consider it networking by dropping that comment down below, because you never know who's going to be scrolling by, see this video, read the comments, and see what you're passionate about and reach out to you. Could very well happen. That's the whole point here. Are we enjoying this? Let's make it move. So what we resist persists. Why do we get more of what we don't want when all we want is less? Can you feel the frustration of this? Why do we get more of what we don't want when all we want is less? Bills, problems in the world like what's happening in the Middle East, right? What else? This weird election, the economy, inflation, you name it. All of that stuff is things that we don't want more of, but guess what? We're getting more of it. Now, wouldn't you like to understand the fundamentals behind that? Mechanically, how is this happening? It's super frustrating until you understand the mechanical nature of it. It all makes beautiful sense, just like mathematics. It just all fits together almost perfect. We won't go down that path. Yes, math is not perfect. It has a gaping hole in it, believe it or not. All right. You can totally resist. You can totally relate to getting more of what you don't want when all you want is less. This is what we're here to talk about. And let's dive in with, let's explore 3 fundamentals of this law of attraction thing that everyone's throwing around as an authority and messing up the essence of what it is and how it can really truly benefit you based on firsthand experiences. My course is all about firsthand experience, and your life ought to be all about firsthand experience. This is my PSA announcement right here where I'm going to say the sun is reflecting off of the marble. All right, I'll leave it. Who cares? I can have that. Anyway, the point being here is the 3 fundamentals of this thing of law of attraction based on firsthand experiences, right? Learning from firsthand experiences is exactly what I'm talking about here. I highly, highly, highly encourage you to, whenever possible, learn from firsthand experience. Don't settle for secondhand knowledge. Don't settle for a YouTube video. Don't settle for reading a book. By all means, watch the YouTube video, read the book. Listen to all the people that have been to, I don't know, the last example I used was Machu Picchu. So, excuse me, my nose itches. Yes, talk to all the people that have been to Machu Picchu, but do not let that substitute for your own firsthand experience. And for all intents and purposes, do yourself this favor, and you will have a whole lot of misunderstandings go away in your life. Just assume without a firsthand experience, you don't know anything about what you're talking about. How about that? Could you do that? I know it'd be challenging for me because in our world, knowing something is like kudos, right? Not knowing something is bad. Knowing something is good. We all love to be the first Googler of something and learning something from there. So what are we doing? We're talking about firsthand experience, and specifically, I put that in present past tense. Let's bear with me for a minute here. I want this to be spot on. Yeah, I'm a little bit of a, oh, it's not going to do it for me. Why not? And then it starts all over. I wish I had a knob to turn the speed up on this thing instead of waiting for it. But it's good. It paces me. I'm supposed to pace myself and not be too excited. I get excited because I worry about people popping in here and not hanging out. They're so manic. We're all so manic in our approach these days. So, specifically, take a look at exactly how we attract what we want, like peace. And then we'll contrast that with how we attract what we don't want. Sound like a plan? Like war. Let's dive in. Are you ready? That's my question. Are you ready? Are you ready to sit in the driver's seat of your life? Huh? Are you ready to take command? This is where free will comes in. It's your choice to be a sheeple. It's your choice to be a slave. It is your choice to be oppressed. It is your choice to not be free. I said it. Let me be the first to put you on notice. You create your reality. You are the decider, the ultimate decider. So start stepping into the driver's seat of your life. Grab the stick shift and drive your life in the direction you want. Don't let the world drive for you. That means you're a passenger in your car instead of the driver in your car. Who in their right mind wants to be a passenger? Yeah, sometimes it's nice. There's a whole lot less responsibility. You get taken care of. It's very comfortable. It's very easy. It's not very challenging. There's a lot of reasons to be an employee and not start your own business. But if you are a diehard expert or entrepreneur, you know what I'm talking about. Running a business is is an insane amount of responsibility relative to any job you could have. Now, granted, I've never been a CEO, so I don't know what that's like, but I do know that we're in the situation we're in the world here because a lot of CEOs stop being a CEO after 6 o'clock, and then they go to the back to their personal life. They're comfortably detached from that role in that corporation to the point that if it went bankrupt, they would still get their golden parachute and their bonuses and all that stuff. If it was sold, right? They create that. So even at that level, it's not the same as being a business owner. Let me hear from you if you can relate to this insane amount of stress that comes with that. I don't think people, small business owners, get enough credit for the level of responsibility they take on, especially if they have employees. Holy moly, what must that feel like? Anyway, we're getting off track here. What do we want? What we want. How does the law of attraction play into this? What we want. Well, first of all, let's understand the fundamentals of being human give you a tremendous amount of leverage over your life experience. That is the true value here. And why you want to adopt a present moment perspective is so you have leverage over your competition and you come out on top, especially as somebody that serves the greater good. I want to send a message out there in the world to everybody. Serving the greater good is a prosperous endeavor. Serving your own personal needs, your own ego gratification is a losing endeavor. Excuse me. Hickle. Alrighty. How does law of attraction apply to what we want? Well, let's do this, right? We talked about doing this from a first-hand experience. What's something you want right now? Let me hear from you down below. Let me get Archimedes off of here. We already clear that we're leveraging the fundamentals of being human on this video so that we can create greater results more consistently, on demand, on on command, right? Law of attraction. What's something you want? Okay, there we go. Yep. I want success too. Well, okay. First and foremost, let's talk about this. The mechanics behind it, the fundamentals behind law of attraction when it comes to what we want is as simple as this. Like energy attracts like. Put your attention, aka focus, right now on that thing that you want. I'm going to close my eyes. I'm going to encourage you to do that too. It allows you to focus inward, which is where I want you to connect to the feeling in your body of what it is you want. Feel the success. Right now, I'm not feeling it, to be honest. If you're not feeling it, honor that intuition and shift it, switch to some other subject. Joy. I can get my attention on joy. Who wants more joy in their life, right? Put your attention on that. Close your eyes and feel that desire. Desire. Feel it. I desire joy. It's a desire. That's what attracts what we want into our life. You focus enough attention on a subject and you, what's the word? Gravitize it. I don't know if that's a scientific term, but you gravitize it. I know they do that with magnets. You can magnetize things, right? Take a regular piece of metal and turn it into a magnet by an electrical current. So that's what we're talking about. You actually turn that thing and you turn yourself and that thing into a magnet. And you're attracting that into your life. It's that simple. We do it all the time, but we do it with less important things and we don't even realize it. There's simple examples that I've used in the past, like a parking spot. Before you found that perfect parking spot, when you pulled into the shopping center, you were already feeling your desire for having that and what it represented, all of it. It was a reward to yourself, a demonstration of my command and power. I'm going through what I get out of that experience. You know what experience I'm talking about? Where you put your attention on getting the perfect parking spot, you pull into the parking lot and boom, it's right in front of the front door of the store. That's what we're talking about, the law of attraction. That's how it happens. It's not random. It's not coincidence. It is predictable. It is duplicatable. So let's go the opposite direction. What we don't want. How does that work? Well, we already talked about how that desire creates a gravity. It's magnetic, turns you into a magnet, and it turns the object. You've heard this before, right? The object of my desire. That's what we're talking about. Turns it into a magnet, and the two of you, whoop, 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 right? You might in a crowded room, and exactly the right people meet. Whoop. I like that sound. You're out networking, and you meet your ideal client. Whoop, whoop. You go to a university, and there's thousands of students there, and you meet the love of your life. Zoop. How does that work on the other side with what we don't want? Let's look at that. So if it's not desire, then the flip side of desire is resistance. We don't want it. It is the anti-desire. Put your attention on this. Focus your attention on something that you don't desire. And let's do this together, and let's make an impact in this world today. Let's all put our attention on how much we resist what's happening in Israel. Really feel how much you didn't want this inconvenience in your life. I know it's very self-centered and self-absorbed to be that way, but it is an inconvenience. It's the downside of living in a global it's the downside of globalization, where you get news from around the world that doesn't necessarily impact you personally here at home immediately, like a hurricane, but it does impact the markets and the policies of the big guys at the top. But for us little guys down here, it doesn't. It's just an annoyance. Like, really? Another problem in the world to distract me from where I want to focus my attention? So feel that. Feel how annoyed and irritated you are with both parties, right? How one can't walk away, and how the other one has to get revenge, and how the other one feels justified. And it's just a whole bunch of nonsense. It's like children fighting, but with lethal toys. And that's not cool. And I'm just really annoyed by it. Can you feel my irritation and frustration with this total inconvenience? Same thing with that Ukraine nonsense. Another total inconvenience. This stuff could have been stopped. It could have been stopped by now for sure. Could have been there could have been an intervention before it happened. But no, there's a concerted effort. While you and I are sitting here resisting war, guess what? There are some really shady mofos in smoky back rooms right now desiring war, licking their chops, salivating at the prospect of the profits and the sales of their weapons of destruction. They're going to totally cash in on this. You watch. Before long, we're going to be sending billions upon the billions we already send to Israel, just like we did with Ukraine, even though we can barely take care of ourselves over here. We're going to be these altruistic, virtue signaling, self important Americans that we've always been. It gets me so frustrated. All right. Are you feeling your resistance? The whole point of this exercise is to become aware of how it feels, how what you don't want feels in your body. Close your eyes and notice that. It's like a repulsion. Ugh. I don't want it. Get it away. Get it away. Take it away. Think of that bill or that parking ticket that just came in the mail, that red light ticket you got when you have no money. It's like, ugh, get it away. Feel the repulsion of that. That too, my friends, is a magnet. It makes a it makes no sense rationally or logically what I'm saying. You have to trust you have to trust this fundamental until you prove or disprove it. Until you prove it or disprove it through firsthand experience. But in my world, I have without a doubt proven that the more I resist something, the more I don't want something to show up. It's anti desire, but it still accomplishes the same thing as desire. It's a magnet that pulls exactly what I don't want right into my reality. The one way that this has been described to me that makes a lot of sense is imagine the universe doesn't know the word no, doesn't know the word not. All it knows is yes, desire. So when we're resisting something, anti desiring something, the universe is getting the message, oh, you like that? Here you go. Oh, you like that? Here you go. That's how we attract what we don't want into our life. We're a walking magnet that's attracting both what we want and what we don't want. For most people, they're doing this unconsciously. The title of today, which you saw on um, my thumbnail, was "Living Deliberately." I'm all over the place. I understand that, but it does make sense to me. And if you bear with me, it'll make sense to you too. What we're talking about today is living deliberately. When you adopt a present moment perspective, you are living deliberately, on purpose. You're not on automatic. You're not letting your unconscious programming run the show. You are, in essence, living deliberately means you are in the driver's seat, not the passenger seat. React, react, react. They did that to me. He did that to me. She did that to me. It did that to me. I'm not the one in charge, right? That's the important point here. Is this making sense? Are you starting to understand how when you really don't want something and it shows up, this is why? So, what's the solution? I desire something or I resist something. Both are a form of desire. What's the solution? Where am I to go? I got you covered right here. What is neutrality? This is what Buddhists call non attachment. This is what had Switzerland fare so well during the war. Any country really that declares neutrality tends to do pretty good because they're basically saying, hey, not my fight. I'm going to sit out for this one. Neutrality, how does it apply to us as individuals? Well, both of the examples that we just went through a firsthand experience of, go ahead and do it right now. Put your attention on what you desire: joy, peace. Ooh, feels so good to desire it, doesn't it? Almost so good that I don't want it to ever be fulfilled because I enjoy the desire so much. I enjoy the pursuit, not the having, the wanting. Can you relate? The goal is uh, to learn to be more neutral, the opposite of that desire for joy and peace. Now go the other way. Feel your resistance to war, violence, and all that nasty stuff that I don't like about humanity. Feel how much you don't like it. Feel how not neutral you are about what's going on in the Middle East. Feel it. This is the gravity and the magnet that we're all carrying individually. Enough of us get together and put our attention on something, it manifests. Now, what if we started doing this deliberately, collectively, as a whole, we the people? That was the whole point. I mean, there was unprecedented prosperity after that Declaration of Independence and the war, obviously. It was like we were our own man for the first time, our own being, so to speak. Never happened before. Nobody had ever declared independence like we did. We broke the mold. So, neutrality. You can get a sense of what you desire. That's not neutral. What you resist. That's not neutral. Now put your attention on an object in your space right now. Something that is very inconsequential to you, like a pen. I'm looking at the cloth. I'll show you. The cloth from my rocket book, right? They're really awesome rocket books. Rocket books. The cloth. I don't have a lot of desire or resistance on this cloth. It's just a cloth. I use it to do a task. If I lost it, I'd be a little annoyed maybe. If I got a whole bunch of cloths, I wouldn't really care. That's neutrality. You notice how I feel about this cloth? Pick something in your space, a pen, right? Neutral. Too busy resisting other things and desiring other things to put any attention on this pen or the water thing, right? I mean, there's a gazillion other things. You want to do the MRSM. Oh, yeah, feel that. This thing is going around on Instagram. It's hilarious. I don't know what it's all about. Anyone want to enlighten me in the comments? I'd love to hear it. All right, neutrality. That's your goal. How do I do that? Yeah, we are as creatures, we are full of desires and resistances, repulsions. How do we get neutrality? How do we embody neutrality? Duh. A present moment perspective. Super, super simple. All right. Let me hear from you. If you want a bonus, put a hashtag bonus down below. All engagement gets attention from me. So if you want to get my attention, if you want to stand out, then drop something down below like hashtag bonus. I've already talked about it, but let's reinforce it. The bonus is, do you have a burning desire? This is honoring Think and Grow Rich by Napoleon Hill. I did a post this week about it, and it's a phenomenal book to read. But there's simple tenets in that book to understand. And one of them is whatever you have a burning desire for, that's your golden ticket. Anything less, and you're playing the lottery now. It's a 50-50 or even worse odds. All depends on that level of desire with which you're operating from. Apathy is a life force killer. Indifference and apathy are often adopted in ignorance as some form of neutrality. Neutrality just means you're not attached. Doesn't mean you're indifferent, like aloof, unapproachable. No, you're totally approachable, but you're not going to play the traditional games that we human beings play, right? The complimenting and, oh, well, they complimented me, I better compliment them, right? The breaking the ice rituals that we all have when we first meet each other. We got to feel uncomfortable and we got to ask some questions and get to know each other and then drop our guard. And pretty soon we're having a good conversation and there's chemistry and all that funness, right? But what we're talking about here is a burning desire for what it is you truly want to see happen in your life. That needs to be paramount. Obsession is a great way to describe a burning desire. What are you obsessing on? When we first heard about the strike in Israel, I'll admit it, I was obsessing on World War III and going back down that path and repeating history and repeating patterns and cycles. And I was just really like, come on, can't you just give us a break for once? Like, can't we just get through 1 year without you playing your magic, casting your spells, doing your very, very obviously choreographed and planned world events? That's the only way I can describe it. Because these things happen. Some things get more attention than others. It's all silly. But what I want to remind you is have a burning desire on purpose for something that serves the greater good. Just have a burning desire to witness, to experience the greatness of humanity, to witness the greater good coming out of everybody. That's when we're not letting our egos interfere with dog eat dog nonsense. It's when we recognize that we're all in this together and we stop competing with each other and we start competing with our own lower self, our own limitations, our own resistances in life. That will help you actually purify your flame. Your burning desire will get hotter and that gravity will get stronger. So by all means, don't be half-hearted on anything that means anything to you in life. Be all in. All right, can't forget. Don't forget the bonus. Share this live with somebody you care about. Somebody that you have that all-in feeling about would be great, And when you're done, message me done, and I will send you my calendar link so you can have a firsthand experience of present moment perspective ASAP. Sound like a plan? Of course, there is the easier route, which is simply #foundfun. Like so. There it is. And it's on YouTube. Interesting. Does it go to my page too? #foundfun. I need to understand how my comments work here in Be Live better. Did that work? Yeah, it did. But I guess I can't comment to my profile. Fascinating. Fun and fascinating. I love the limitations for me to resist. All right. If you don't want to do the fast action bonus and share this video, then just simply drop a #foundfun down below. When I see it, I will DM you with all the details on how you can redeem your taste of a present moment perspective that way. Let's recap. I'm supposed to clap because I'm going to repurpose this video, right? Like all my other ones. Not. Yeah, it's hilarious. All right. What do we got here? Let's wrap it up. We just explored 3 fundamentals of this law of attraction thing based on firsthand experience. Specifically, we took a look at exactly how we attract what we want, like peace, and then contrasted that with how we attract what we don't want, like war. We also explored the solution being neutrality and where to find that neutrality, which is from a present moment. By adopting a present moment perspective, you will begin to cultivate neutrality and be able to embody it more on command in your life. When something bothersome shows up, you can remain neutral. It is a lifesaver. I am telling you from firsthand experience. As always, tune in Thursdays around 3:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. No, I'm just kidding. 3:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. I started a little bit late today at 4 o'clock. That's on me. I take personal responsibility. I wasn't going to do this at all. I'm so glad I jumped on here because getting in action, it just brings everything together and makes life much more fun when you participate in it. So tune in Thursdays, 3:30 p.m. Eastern to catch me live here on Facebook, YouTube. Namaste. The divinity in me recognizes the divinity in you. Remember, the fastest way to get to where you want in life is with a guide who has been there before you. My name is Keith Volpe. Allow me to be your guide on your self-discovery journey into the world of self-realization. Until next week, take care. Be aware.